everything you can and still not able to fully reverse your child's juvenile arthritis? Hi, I am Star Penn. I am your leaky gut coach and the creator and founder of the JIE Blueprint. And today, what I want to do is talk with you about that very thing and what the three main things are that parents are doing wrong and why it is that they are not fully getting the results that they're after. Okay. So, the first thing that I see very often, and after helping so many families actually reverse their juvenile arthritis, this is a big one by the time people come to me, is that they've tried to do a lot of the testing and to take a lot of correlating supplements that will respond to what the test is saying is missing in the child's body, along with some diet tweaks. And by the time a lot of people come to me and have already done that, a lot of times their child is worse off than before, maybe even already on meds, but maybe not even responding to those at the time. And that's really because when we take that approach, even though we're throwing a lot of money at the thing and it seems like we are doing a lot, and it does seem like with those tests we're being extremely comprehensive, the problem is with that and what we're missing is that our child's body doesn't have a need for a lot of these things. They don't have a deficiency in a lot of these things per se, so much as they have an inability to absorb. So when our child is at the stage where their joints are flaring and they are getting diagnosed with something like juvenile arthritis, at this point, for it to even get that far, their bodies are malnourished. They are not able to even absorb nutrients from many of the supplements that we take. Now, I'm not saying none of the nutrients, but a good majority is not able to be processed by the body. And that has to do with the internal lining of the gut and really the mechanism in the gut that's designed to absorb nutrition. It's just been completely bombarded, destroyed, overloaded, and it's a big reason why we'll get some benefit, but eventually it just stops helping or stops working. And really, the problem with that is we're spending a lot of money on expensive supplements, and really, when you think about it, a lot of these supplements are synthetic in nature to begin with. So we're already giving the body not just something that it can't absorb, but also something that it now has to process. With a body that is already struggling with detox because of all the inflammation in the body and the body trying to dispose of that toxic material, now we're throwing something else for now the body to break down and to process. The benefit to lack of benefit ratio, for lack of a better term, it doesn't pay. And then, I do hear a lot of people that they do that along with some maybe tweaks to the diet, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, and things like that. And that probably is a little bit more helpful than the diet alone or than the supplements alone or the supplements at all. But again, because we're not really dealing with why the body's struggling with processing gluten, sugar, dairy, and things of that nature, then that's the reason why after some time of doing that, the symptoms end up coming back. So that's the first mistake. The second mistake is thinking that diet alone is going to help them. So there's a lot of different diets out there. I've mentioned before, which has now been proved to be incorrect, and thank goodness I didn't do it, but around the time my daughter Serafina was being diagnosed with juvenile arthritis, it was all about going raw vegan. Anti-inflammatory made sense, right? It seemed to make sense. But since then, there's been lots of diets that have come out. And that's not to say that we don't focus on a certain nutritional protocol in the blueprint, because we absolutely do. So if you notice, I said diet alone. So a lot of people, maybe rather than focusing so much on the testing and supplements, maybe they are taking some supplements, but they're really focused on, we're going to do the AIP diet, or we're going to put our child on the carnivore diet, or a keto type of diet, on and on. There's a handful, right, that we know now have the ability to reduce inflammation. And so we get some decent, good results with that. And then it pops back up. And or we're noticing hormonal problems with our child, just behavior problems that are really hard to deal with, kind of wild, things like that. It doesn't always have to be necessarily that the juvenile arthritis pops back up, but it could be tics or Tourette's or, emotional outbursts. It could be other diagnosed autoimmune diseases, because really autoimmunity is all just one thing. It's not, all these things are not connected, they are interconnected. So it's like we're playing whack-a-mole and we're trying to like go, we're never ahead of the game when we go about it this way. And the third thing that I see parents trying to do, and I understand why they would try to do it, because we live in an information age, is they try to DIY it. There's so many people on YouTube, like myself, giving, information. There's podcasts, there's books, there's blog posts, there's videos, there's TikToks. So all of that. And really just trying to piece together lots of really good information. And I can do this myself pretty much. And, really the problem with that is it's like there's no communication. There's, between the people that maybe you're getting your information from, or even if you're just getting your information from one person, there's no real communication between you and that person. And so this type of trial and error approach, definitely, I have seen time and again, really sabotage a parent's best efforts, because sometimes a lot of information, well, most times, a lot of information does not equate with real life transformation. Information is just information, but knowing how to apply it in a day-to-day setting, that requires some real guidance. And what I see a lot of parents doing is they just try to wing it. We're going to do this diet, we're going to do these tests, we've heard of this doctor, we're going to go to that doctor, and we're going to do these tests, and we're going to and really just trying to do it all on your own. And that kind of trial and error is exhausting. When we do it that way, we're always still researching. We're always still trying to figure out what it is we're missing. When really, it's not so much that you're missing information, but you're still going out there getting more information, more information, more information. And more does not mean better. It's just now more for you to start to really second guess yourself, to really be like, wait a minute, I read that, and now that says that, and now I don't know what to do. And then that is that exhaustion, that tension, that anxiety, stress that we get up here because we think we're going down the right road. And they're like, oh no, now I heard this and this is different. And now we got to tell our husband and tell our kid, we got to do this now. And now we got to do this now. We got to do this now. And all the while, our child is not getting better. They are getting sicker, and we are getting ever closer to the grim reality of really having to just be on the meds and just be like, this is going to be your life. And that's the thing, that if you're watching this video and you're a mom like me, that was the one thing that you were trying to avoid. You really did believe, you really did hope that you could fix this, whether along with meds or without meds, but you never really wanted to just be one of those moms who was like, oh, my child has juvenile arthritis. Oh, okay, we'll get on, the this, and then we'll get on that, and then we'll just, have the maintenance, and then, this is how you're going to learn to live, and you're going to have to do it yourself as an adult. Like, that wasn't what we wanted. But the more we make these 3 mistakes that I shared with you today, the more we almost guarantee that that's the road we're going to end up down eventually. And, we want to be our child's savior. We want to be the one to fix it. And I'm here to tell you that you actually really can fix it. But I always tell it my clients all the time, or, people that I talk to all the time, I don't have a magic wand. I don't have some sort of special, supplement that I'm going to share with you that you have to go buy and spend all this money. And then that's what's what you're missing. That's really not what it is. It really is a combination of a good sense, good knowledge, good information that I've acquired, good guidance, good counseling, good support, and then also the willingness on your end to, on a day to day basis, receive that feedback and respond to your child's body on any given day and knowing what to do. So, there's just so much information out there. And when I created the JIA blueprint, that was my mission and my goal. I wanted, if I could, to take that part away from moms, the part that I know what that feels like, that having to search, that having to research, that having to find, having to do it myself, having to troubleshoot every single thing all on my own. And granted, this was 10 years ago. And I really do believe that the kids are it's much more frequent now. It's coming on much quicker now. It's much more severe now. I don't wish this on anybody, but I do know the way out. And so that's what I've done in creating the blueprint, and what I've dedicated my life to is helping other moms just like me to get out of there. And it is a day-to-day it is a day-to-day commitment, and that's the commitment that I give to my clients. So if you want more information about the blueprint, you can always reach out to me. My email address is jiablueprint@gmail.com. Can always, send me an email, reach out to me for more information. I'd be happy to get on a call with you to share more information with you. But I really hope that this video helps you to maybe shine some light into the direction that you want to go. And, do you want to get there quick and as easy as possible, or continue to try and do it yourself? And I'm just here to tell you that you really deserve it. You really deserve the support and help you need to get out of this as quickly as possible. And hopefully, before your child's all grown and off to school, have some years where you can really enjoy them and enjoy the whole family, and not have this be the center of everything forever. All right. Well, until my next video, it was lovely sharing this information with you. Please drop any questions down in the chat if you like. And like I mentioned earlier, you are welcome to reach out to me. Okay. Bye.